No, but the thing is, it's something as simple as like there's no word for putting out a thread, whereas there's a
Oh.
word for tweeting.
Oh,
Something
threading,
as small as that. It's just
tweeting,
cooler,
threading.
I guess.
But isn't threading a word?
Yeah, but threading, you don't want to say I'm threading.
Silly.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Oh, it's like tweeting is any better, but it's all about the recognition.
I know, but like, sorry, bro. People got used to it by now, like tweeting, you know? As silly of a word as it is, people are just used to it right now.
Exactly. Yeah, on my tweet got.
Yeah.
Imagine 50 years ago, someone hears you say my tweet. To think you're a crazy person.
Now, they already looked down on this generation anyway.
Yeah.
Bro, if I'm being honest.
Have we started, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, cool.
A lot of people ask this question, you know?
Cool.
Have we started? Yeah, we started. Since we started, pick a number from 1 to 10.
7.
All right.
Always 7.
Why not? Why 7? Sorry.
It's Manchester United.
Oh,
Iconic
my
number.
God. That could mean so many things, bro.
What, 7?
7, yeah.
Does it? What else?
Number of God. Completion. 7. Yeah, because he took 7 days to complete the earth. In the Bible, 7 is a big number. Mason Mount is number 7.
Don't make me spit out my coffee.
Is that a bad thing? He's number 7?
Yeah. No. I think what they're trying to do is take pressure off the number, so they just give it to a very average player.
Bro, pressure been taken off. They had Di Maria. They had
Di Maria's a baller, but it's just
Memphis.
Very bad person.
Yeah, there's not a single player that had the number 7 after another that actually did something with it.
Yeah. So anyway, so 7. 7's my number.
All right, man. Then you get 7 seconds to look at the screen and introduce yourself.
All right.
That's all you get.
My name is Bilal, digital producer, poet, writer. It's about a journalist. Not so much anymore, but yeah, started out as a journalist, photographer.
That was way more than 7 seconds.
Yeah.
You happy with it?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Let's go with that.
Do you like your name?
My name?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love my name.
Why?
Because I'm named after a companion of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Bilal al-Habashi?
Bilal al-Habashi, yeah, that's it. Yeah, and he was the first caller to prayer.
Yeah.
It did come with a lot of pressure, but when I was young,
yeah,
a lot of people, whenever I'd be at a mosque or in a family gathering or anything, I was like, yeah, do the call to prayer. And I was/am an introverted extrovert. So it's very difficult to tell if I'm excited about something or just really nervous about it, even internally.
Well, how does that work?
So
introverted, extrovert.
So you start out introverted. So like I approach everything introverted, if that makes sense. So like
shy.
Yeah, shy. Yeah.
Quiet about it.
Yeah. And then I kind of work my way in. Yeah. Whereas just an introvert doesn't work their way in. Like just stays shy the whole time. Like with an introvert, because I have one of my closest friends is an introvert, and we were speaking about this. And his brother, who's younger than him, is an extrovert. And they're on like kind of two opposite ends of the spectrum. And he was telling me that they were at an event where I was at the same event. And he said as the night went on, his younger brother's battery kind of, kept charging.
Out,
his battery was dying out as the introvert, and he just wanted to go home. Whereas his brother was thriving. The longer the night went on, he kept getting more and more into it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the difference. Whereas with me, and I was at the same event, and I started the night like kind of like just pretty neutral, and then I kind of got into it. But then by about 10 o'clock, I wanted to go home as well.
Did it slowly die out, or did it just switch off? Because some people it just switch off.
No, for me, it just slowly dies out. I'm just like, I'm over this now.
But that's good. Like, at least it doesn't just out of nowhere. That happens to me sometimes.
Yeah, no, it's a slow kind of decline.
But that's probably because of the people, man.
Yeah.
No? The big trains.
Not that. Not even. It's in general, just at general events. Like,
if you spend how much hours would it be for you, like, until your battery dies out?
So let's say if I get there at 5, by 10 o'clock I'm done.
That's 5 hours.
Yeah.
That's good though.
Yeah.
Like how much time socializing do you want?
People can socialize the whole day, man. Like they can be out all day. Like a day for me is a very like mentally exhausting day. Like you get up at 8 a.m. or you get up at like 6 a.m. actually. And you're just like basically saying hi to people the whole day.
Too much family?
Yeah, just everyone, people you haven't seen in a year since the last Eid. And for me, that's like a drag. I'm just like, nah. But I can get up on stage and perform for 5-10 minutes. That's fine.
During Eid and
No, I'm saying just in general.
or just in general.
In general, I can get up and perform for 5-10 minutes. That's fine. But if I'm interacting with people over a long time, then yeah. And also, sometimes I'm just awkward. Like I don't know how to take compliments. Like stuff like that. Like it's hard to explain.
Is that because your introversion takes over?
Yeah, I think
Your shyness takes over.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So when you say I don't take compliments, do you just like spin it right back at the person, or do you just stand there awkwardly?
No, I just say like, oh, like yeah, thanks.
Oh.
But like it's like, but it's not a comfortable situation for me.
Bro, you're married.
Yeah.
How did you deal when she gave you a compliment?
Nah, like when I first approached my wife, it wasn't easy as well. I was very shy.
Yeah.
She thought I was cross-eyed like the first few conversations because I couldn't look directly at her. Because like in Islam, we're taught to lower our gaze, right?
Yeah.
So we don't actually speak, or at least you're not supposed to.
Well, why is that?
To women regularly. Why you supposed to lower your gaze?
Why to lower? Yeah.
Just out of respect.
So you just look down.
Yeah, it's just out of respect. Yeah, like you don't like so. Right now, if like I'm sitting across the table from a woman, I wouldn't be making like direct eye contact like I am now. Like you could in like a professional setting, right? But in a more personal setting, it's more respectful to just look down and make the occasional eye contact. You know what I mean? Rather than maintaining direct eye contact, if that makes sense.
But what's the logic behind that? Like, why would it be instead of direct eye contact, you're just looking down?
Yeah, again, just out of respect. So like.
Because I know
think about it like this. Would you want someone like if you were married? Would you want someone just like looking at your wife like for a very long time? You'd be a bit uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like you're always thinking of someone. In Islam you don't think of any woman as just a woman. She's someone's wife or someone's daughter or someone's sister.
Yeah.
So you're always respecting her as part of an institution.
Yeah. Bro, I think a big part of that is. Not just Islam, it's in the Arab world.
Yeah,
because I'm Christian, even back in Iraq.
Yeah.
If you go out with your mom, you go out with your sister. It's always that look. It's like, why are you looking at my sister?
Yeah,
even when I was a little kid, like it's embedded in your head. We'd be going for a drive,
and you become protective over your over your
even
sister,
if you're
your
little
mom.
kids.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Like,
so that's what it is. Yeah.
Even if the person is not looking in a malicious intent, it's just in your head, right?
Of course,
it's like, why are you looking?
Yeah.
Well,
and it's natural. It's called ghira in the Arabic language.
What?
Ghira. It's the word.
Ghira. Yeah. So it's like translates to jealousy, but it's not exactly jealousy.
Yeah, it's like a protective jealousy.
But I understand. I think that sort of exists in the Japanese culture.
Yes.
If you go to Japan,
a lot of the Eastern world is like that.
You look someone in the eye, it's very disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
But why? Because for them, it's not something that comes from Islam. I highly doubt it. Do you think it's part of because the way they do it, it's not women and men. It's older and younger. And so if you look someone in the eye that's older than you, you're disrespecting them. Why do you think that?
Yeah, again, it just comes down to respect. Yeah. It's respecting someone who's different from you. And you hold them in high regard. That's so fair. We hold our women in very high regard. Yeah, in Islam, the rights of a woman, I'm not sure how much you know about the history, but you're going back to the 5th century AD, which is when Islam, and the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was born. Women were being buried alive before he was born, and even well into his life before his prophethood. And Islam came and changed all of that and gave women more rights than they'd had ever. Not ever, but since the last prophethood. So you're looking at a religion that not to speak on behalf of the whole religion, but if you don't respect your women, you don't respect yourself. The Prophet ﷺ said, the best of you are the best to your women or your wives, and I'm the best to my wives. That's actually so authentic hadith, which is a narration to the Prophet from the Prophet. Sorry, so that's where that comes from.
Then why do you think Islam gets a lot of backlash for the way it treats, or not it treats, the way that it's perceived in treating women? Where's the backlash come from? Or is it not Islam? Is it more the Middle East?
No, it's Islam that gets the flack, but you really have to look at the type of world we live in, right? We live in a world where the more you cover up, the more you're oppressed, and the more you take off, the more clothes you take off, the more you're free, right?
What do you mean by that?
So, like you look at a woman who, you know, posts photos online.
Oh, covered up like physically.
Covered up physically.
Okay,
yeah. A woman who posts photos online,
Mm.
she's considered liberated, right? And free. But in reality, she's not free at all, because if you're not,
Well, she's free in what she does.
she's free to she's free to do what she wants to do. Everyone is free.
Yeah.
There's free will. As human beings, we have free will. So everyone is free.
Yeah.
But if you're not, if you're doing that, you're doing that to please someone, right? Whereas, so there's a saying, right? If you're a slave to something, you know, you're either a slave to God or you're a slave to your own desires, right? So if you're doing that, then you're a slave to your own desires. So the way women in Islam are looked at, or Muslim women are looked at by the general public, I'd say, is as, you know, oppressed because they cover up, right? But when you cover up, yeah, right. So right now I'm covered up, right? I'm fully clothed, yeah.
Beautiful clothes.
Thank you. You can't see things underneath here, right? Like, say I'm insecure about something on my body, yeah, for example, you can't see that, right? Because I'm covered up, yeah. So I'm protected right now. I'm protected. If someone was to hit me, or if a bee was to sting me, I would be more protected than I would be if I was, you know, if I wasn't wearing anything. So I'm here, I'm protected, I'm covered, right? My modesty is covered. You look at me and you don't see an object, you just see a person, right? When you see a woman who's covered from, you know, head to toe, barring her face, you see a human being. There's no way you're going to see that person as an object, right? Because you're not seeing someone who's objectifying themselves. You're seeing someone who's respecting themselves, and thus, just by default, as a human, you're going to respect them. You know, unless you've got malice in your heart. That's not to say that you don't respect people who don't cover up, because in Islam you're taught to cover. You're taught to respect Muslims and non-Muslims. So if you see someone on the street who's not covered up, again, you lower your gaze. You're not supposed to look anyway. Yeah. You know.
Wouldn't you say some part of that? Sorry, I just gotta put this down a little bit. I can't see your mouth talking, bro.
That's all right.
It's okay. That's your extroversion coming in. Wouldn't you say some kind of shame has to play into it? Because I think nowadays, as we're going further with our society, shame is getting lost. It's a big part of our identities, of our cultures, that's just getting tossed to the side. Why do you think that?
Because look, I don't want to get too political, right? But the way that the left is trying to push the end, look, we can say the left or right, it's actually reversed in Australia. So the way that the liberals want to push the world and see the world is a world where everyone does whatever they want and the family unit is broken, right? You've seen divorce rates go through the roof.
That's just not realistic.
What do you mean?
Living in a world where you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
exactly.
You can't do that, no?
Yeah, exactly. But because there are consequences, right? I saw something the other day. I can't remember. I'm not good with celebrities. But a celebrity was being serenaded by the singer Usher.
Kiki Palmer?
Yeah, that's the one.
I saw that.
She was being
video.
serenaded, and she was dressed very inappropriately.
I know.
And her partner, who's the father of her child,
he got called out.
Yeah, he said, like, come on, have some shame. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you're a mother.
Yeah.
And you're acting like this.
Yeah.
And there's another video where it's just of her face, and Usher is performing on the stage. I think he wasn't wearing a shirt.
Yeah.
And she had like
a
have you seen the heart eyes emoji?
Yeah,
it looked like that's what her face looks like.
Pissing over him.
Yeah. And every single person I saw in the comments was defending her.
Yeah, I know. It's
the family unit.
It's shambolic.
That's what they want the family unit to be broken.
Yeah. The guy is not even her husband. He's like her father of her son.
I think they're in a committed relationship.
They're in a committed relationship, I think. But he spoke out and he's like, well, this family is, you know, they're promoting for disconnection of the family and you guys are praising it, right? And then he got slammed for saying what he says. And it's funny because, like, when we talked about Twitter and Threads just earlier right now, the reason why I think Threads could thrive is where people that exist on Twitter could not exist on Threads. So Threads could create a space for people that are not necessarily, I would say, of a certain political ideology, but Twitter is already ganged with people like this mindset, that, pushing for left-wing agenda, or pushing for, I would say, what is it called? Equality on everything, equality on discrimination, diversity, all these kind of things. Sorry
about that.
That's all right. The people that are on Twitter, I wouldn't say they're very colorful, but they're very angry. They always yell at you for whatever opinion. Them people could probably not exist on Threads.
Okay.
Because the way that Zuckerberg deals with his sites, he polices it more. He polices it better. So say, for example, you log on Twitter, you could be scrolling your For You page and you could find all sorts of things, right? Just yesterday or the day before, I literally found a video of women giving birth.
Wow. That's
right? It's
like a beautiful thing, but you don't want
to see it. It's a beautiful thing, right?
You don't want to see it on your phone on Twitter.
And the guy that's recording it, he wasn't even supposed to record it. Like, he's just sneaking a video.
Oh, no.
Right? And he's just posting it. Like,
and that's just sitting there.
Sitting there. And it's got likes and shares. And the algorithm is pushing it. Wow. Something like that could probably not happen on Threads.
I reckon.
Because they police it better. That's why I told you at the start, Threads could take over. Because
might have to head over to Threads then.
Yeah, listen, bro. Listen.
But back
they
to
should probably pay me, man. That's free promotion for them.
Back to the family unit.
So what I was trying to say,
so that woman, everyone is championing her kind of stepping outside the bounds of her relationship, right? And if she was to now go and say, "Nah, I've left him," she'll just get cheered on.
Yeah.
Right. But then who's going to be there for her when she's there alone with her child? They're heartbroken.
Her empowerment.
The family unit's broken.
Yeah.
Man, how many children does that guy? What's his name? Nick Cannon. How many does he have?
12.
12 kids with how many women?
Jesus, bro.
Like 9, 10 women or something. And this guy gets so much praise.
I know. He's like Future.
But if you have one woman, 7 children, then all of a sudden, oh man, you get bagged, you get teased, or here comes a Tarago and this and that, or even in Islam, you're actually allowed to have multiple wives. And so many, I've heard so many misconceptions about that. Do you know how many rules there are to have multiple wives in Islam? You have to provide each of them with accommodation. You have to provide for each of them equally. You have to spend time with them equally, unless one of them has said, "Look, I don't need that much time." So essentially, say a fortnight is 14 days, 7 days with each.
Yeah.
Right. How much time does Nick Cannon spend with each of his women?
0.
Exactly. So there are rights for women in Islam, right? And the family unit is preserved to the point where, for example, divorce is permissible, but it's the least liked of permissible acts, right? So you're supposed to actually, a family unit is supposed to stay together. Yeah,
it's supposed to be sacred.
Yeah, it's sacred. Exactly right. Yeah, especially if there are kids in the equation. Sometimes you get married young. It works out a couple of years, and you realize, look, we're really just not compatible, and you haven't had any children. You go your separate ways, and then you try again a second marriage, but you've learned lessons from it, right? But if you've got children, and then all of a sudden they've got step parents and this and that, it becomes traumatic for the child. Right?
It becomes messy too.
Yeah, and you've got to think about that. So the family unit is very important. And the West leftist ideology is it's really messing with that.
Be honest, I think there's flaws on both sides. There's flaws in the East. There's flaws in the West. Like, neither of them could hit the right balance. Me coming from a Western society, from an Eastern society, I've seen what it could do to have that dynamic, to have multiple wives. I don't think it works, if I'm being honest.
Oh, I have a bit of skepticism with the current society, not because like what I said, the way I explained it. If someone was to do it fairly like that, then it works, right? Like it works for certain people. Yeah, but a lot of people aren't fair, man. Like in this day and age, and people just follow their desires. Like I use Reddit. Yeah, like I'm actually
The dangerous websites.
Yeah. Like it's just for me, it's just so interesting seeing other people's stories. I'm a big reader in general. Like I like to read. So just reading other people's stories, and I see so many people that want to get married, like to a second wife, literally just out of their own desires. And then what happens to the first wife? They get neglected, right? So in this day and age where people just follow their desires, Instagram generation, where you just see things, it's like your window shopping, right? It's like your window shopping on Instagram.
Bro, that's like buying a car.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
It's like buying a car. It's a
like
new model.
yeah, exactly.
You write it out and then
or updating your iPhone. That's not the purpose.
But this is what's getting pushed. Like it's like you buy a new iPhone 2021, then another year comes out the new one. Well, guess what? You're gonna have to, get a down payment, pay the new one, get the new one because why? Because it's new. Yeah. And then if you get a car, you pay something like $40,000, and then the next year there's another car, and then now what? You trade the car for another car. It's literally what they're pushing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's with clothes. That's with material stuff, and now it's getting to family. It's getting to relationships. It's like you get a friend, and then 3-4 months later you're bored out of this friend, and then now you gotta get new friends, and you get new family, and you get new wives.
Exactly.
It's
sad. The way that marrying multiple women started in Islam. I think it's important to clarify this. The way it started was actually for the benefit of divorcees, widows, people who need someone to support them.
The Prophet Muhammad started?
Yeah, the Prophet married widows.
Yeah.
He married divorcees, people who had been, well, don't quote me on divorcees, but I'm certain on widows. Yeah. People who had been, left in need, and he married them to support them. Right, so that was the intention behind it. It's not to follow your desires. Obviously, like men have desires, women have desires. That's fine, right? But the purpose isn't for that, right? So that's important to clarify. I don't know. I feel like I don't want to speak on behalf of a whole faith here, but that's from my understanding. Yeah. From my understanding.
No, that's fair. I think, in my opinion, religion is always open for interpretation. You could say that you have experts that sit down and study it, and that's fair enough, but you would never know exactly what is intended if you weren't, one, at the time over there living with them, and two, the person that's trying to give the message themselves. So, Prophet Muhammad or Jesus or Moses or whoever was trying to start a religion, the message is within them, and then the message gets kind of like not twisted and manipulated, but molded by time into different things and different stuff. So in the Bible, for example, you have the King James Bible, and then you have some other prints, the Catholic Bible or the Protestant Bible. Right. If you look at each and every single one, the prints are different. There's some things over there that are not here. Some things against LGBTQ over here that are not over there. Some things against gay marriage that are in King James Bible. Some things that are not there. And so when it gets to this point, what do you trust? Which one do you follow? And so if you're a Protestant, you don't believe in Mary. You don't believe that she's a person that's ascended into heaven. You don't believe in, you believe in gay marriage. But if you follow the King James book, both of these things, the exact opposite.
Which one is King James? Is that Catholic?
King James, is it Catholic? Yeah. No, King James is not used in Catholic. King James is a separate copy. Catholicism actually follows a separate book. They have their own book and has different rules as well. Say, for example, the number of Jesus' followers, if he, there's Mary Magdalene, if you know her. The type of relationship that Jesus had with her is different in each and every single book, Like some people say that she was one of the 12, what are they called? The followers, when he had his 12 followers. Apostles, yeah. Some people say that she was number 13. Some people say that, she was just an accompanying partner for them, helping them out. So it gets lost in translation. Does something like that happen in the Quran?
No, the Quran is only one. There's only one. There's no variation in the Quran. It's been preserved 1400 years. And to be honest, that's something I'm always fascinated about. Like you're sitting in this morning I was at the mosque, and so it's called the Imam, the person who's leading the prayer. He's leading, He's a young Pakistani kid, and I was praying next to a Nigerian. To my left, to my right was, I don't know, I think an Afghan, and the whole mosque is filled with different nationalities, people from different parts of the world. And as he's reading, if he makes a mistake, 3-4 people will be able to correct him, because the whole Quran is memorized by by a number of people, a lot of people.
That's cool.
So yeah, there's only one.
But isn't that probably because it's one language? It was in Arabic, and it was written. Yeah.
Yeah, it was written in Arabic.
It was written.
Yeah.
But the difference is, Bible wasn't written. It was told. It was stories.
What do you mean by that?
So, Quran was written by Prophet Muhammad.
No,
right?
no. The Quran was revealed. The Prophet Muhammad was illiterate, so he couldn't read or write. Yeah, so the Quran was revealed to Prophet Muhammad by angel Gabriel, and he relayed it to his companions who then wrote it down. But it was revealed verbally. Yeah, the Prophet couldn't read or write.
I knew that. I know he couldn't.
Yeah,
because he was in a cave, wasn't he, when it was revealed?
Yeah.
What is the cave called?
Hira. I've been there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've been
there.
there.
Nice?
I didn't make it all the way up to the cave.
Oh, why?
It was a hike, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, by the time we got to the bottom of the mountain, the Prophet must have been fit, man, because that was a hike, honestly.
How many Ks?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't have my Apple Watch on, but
come on, man.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy.
Historic events, you gotta do it.
I didn't know you could go in the cave. I was fuming when the boys came back down, and they had been up, and they went in the cave. They actually sat where the Prophet was. Yeah, I didn't know that you could go inside.
It's in Saudi, yeah?
Yeah, it's in Saudi. Mecca.
Where in Saudi?
In
Mecca.
Yeah.
Just outside?
It's just on the outskirts of Mecca.
Yeah.
So, the Prophet couldn't read or write. So it was revealed to him and then relayed. And then, just written by his companions.
Do they know the companions? Who wrote it?
Yeah, it's known, yeah.
Like Abu Bakr and...
I don't know which companions wrote.
But they're known, yeah?
They're known, yeah.
They're known.
Yeah.
I think the difference is there could be evidence that people wrote the Quran, of people existing that wrote the Quran. It's hard to find exactly who wrote the Bible.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not very familiar with the history.
Yes. Same thing with Torah for Judaism. They don't know exactly who wrote it. It's the stories of Moses, but who was telling the stories, who's writing the stories of Moses, is very hard to tell. Same thing with Bible. It's stories told from generations to generations, because it's a very old book. They didn't have writing at the time, anyway. And so it just gets told and told and told until someone decided to write it down, jot it down. And by the time maybe the message got to the people that wrote it down, it could be molded into something different.
Fair enough.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not very familiar with the history of the Bible or the Torah. Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. But you're right too, yeah?
I write, yeah.
What do you write?
So I started writing at 14. I started writing younger than that, but just mucking around. But I started writing online at 14. And I just started by writing, sports journalism blogs.
Nice. At 14?
At 14, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I was writing about Man United and just about general football. And then when I was 15 or 16, I started writing for GiveMeSport.com. I'm not sure if you heard of it.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. So I wrote for them for a bit.
What season was that when you were 14?
14, it would have been, so I'm 25 now, so 11 years ago.
What's the year right now? 2023?
2023, so it would have been the 2012, 2013 season.
Was that when they won the Premier League with Van
the
Persie?
last season when we won the league, yeah. Yeah.
The glory days.
Or it might have been, actually, I think I might have started in the 2011-12 season.
Just before.
So the Aguero season. Aguero scored that last minute goal.
The heartbreaker.
Yeah. But so I started writing then.
Where were you when that happened?
I was at home.
Watching it?
Yeah, I was shattered, man. That was probably one of the worst days of my life, honestly. Yeah.
Were you here in Australia?
Yeah, I was here, yeah.
Well, what must have been like something like 5 a.m., no? 3 a.m., the game?
It was, the last game of the season is normally around midnight.
Oh, yeah.
Midnight, 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So there was that. Yeah, that was terrible. Yep. So what happened was United actually had won the league.
They did.
Because the United game had finished.
Yeah.
And the points were on the board. But the City game still hadn't finished, and there was like 5 minutes left. And they were a goal down, and they needed to win the game.
Yeah, bro. QPR is still a dirt cheap
So
They
bad.
just gave up.
Yeah. Nader Manua is the name of the player who gave away the throw in.
No one's gonna forget that guy.
I like him. He's a pundit now. I like him
Is
as a
he?
pundit,
Yeah.
but I still haven't forgiven him.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
That's like Kulumwani for French people right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We would have won. I think we would have won. We won 09, 10, 11. So we would have won 4 in a row. Did we win? No, we didn't win. No, we didn't win 10 and 11.
Oh, thank God you didn't.
Nah. Yeah, Chelsea won 10, 11. Yeah, we won 7, 8, 9. Yeah, but there still would have been 4 in 3 and 4 years, 4 and 5 years. And then we won it the next year. But so anyways, that's when I started writing.
Yeah.
And then I kind of stopped during like year 11 and 12.
Because of studying.
Because of studying, and I started performing again. So I was writing more for stage.
Stand up.
Nah. So I used to be a rapper.
Oh,
yeah,
big ballin'.
Not that kind of rapper.
No,
like nah, not like anything crazy.
Like with a message type of rapper.
Yeah, with a message.
Okay,
yeah. But that stopped pretty early, so I stopped.
Why?
Like it didn't fit with my religious views.
Okay.
Yeah, so about 17, 18, I was put a stop to that.
How does it not fit with religious views? Because there's a lot of religious rappers, no?
Yeah. But like it was more the settings.
Oh,
like,
where you go to perform.
Yeah, where you go to perform. Yeah.
The people or.
Yeah, the people. There's alcohol, stuff like that. Yeah, we don't touch alcohol. So.
Oh, even if you're just surrounded by it, it's bad.
It's not comfortable, man. It's not comfortable. Like when you're raised like how I've been raised, like in a like we're not around alcohol. Yeah, conservative. Okay. Yeah, not around.
But is that personal preference or is it something that's in the religion?
So it's tricky. So in the religion, I was actually having this conversation the other day. You can't, or you shouldn't, be sat at a table where alcohol is being served, but you can be in a venue where alcohol is being served, right? Because you're in a Western country, nearly every venue is going to have alcohol. And this is to the best of my knowledge and from the
well, you still have proximity with it
in the venue.
Yeah.
Yeah. But think about it like this: if we're sitting on this table and there's alcohol right here to my right, and this is also to be avoided as much as possible. So if you're at a work gathering, just say a work lunch. Right, for me, if I'm working in a corporate company, and I can't go to their events at bars and clubs and this and that, so I'll to compromise, I'll go to a lunch. If they're still drinking at the lunch, and there's alcohol on the table, and it's not really somewhere where I'm there out of personal choices. Literally, it's a work event. Then that you might be able to get away with that, right? But ideally, you shouldn't be around alcohol much. So that's why I didn't want to stay in those kind of environments, and also very they're not good environments just in general.
I know, I've seen it.
Yeah, they're not good environments.
I've seen it.
Yeah. So I put a stop to that.
Would mostly be at night as well, yeah.
And mostly at night. Yeah. So it just wasn't good. It wasn't a good environment. So I had to put a stop.
Honestly,
to
it's not a good look either.
Yeah, and it was hard as well to compromise that because it's for in this world you're taught if you got a talent, follow it. And I don't know how far I could have gotten with that because I put a stop to it very early. But luckily I've been able to re-spark that passion with spoken word poetry, which is what I'm doing now. So it's really cool. Like I really enjoy that. And then I worked in sports media for a long time after that. From 18 I started working in futsal. Which is indoor soccer. Yeah. Worked in that for 3 years. Was really lucky, man. I got to cover futsal all around the country. Nice. So I went as far as Brisbane.
High leagues.
Sorry?
Big leagues.
Yeah, like
nice.
like professional leagues, yeah. Well, as professional as it gets in futsal.
How professional can it get in futsal?
Now it's actually pretty
big, yeah.
Yeah, they get paid.
Yeah.
They get paid. Yeah.
I saw
the
Asian Cup qualifiers, not the qualifiers, the finals. It was Kuwait and Morocco.
Yeah.
Bro, Morocco, they're different.
Yeah,
they're different. Yeah, even their futsal teams, they play with passion. They play with fire. Like the ball doesn't stop.
The thing is, futsal in this country and in continental Asia, because we're kind of part of Asia in terms of football and futsal, it's very different. The funding there is ridiculous. If you go to Thailand, Vietnam,
bigger,
Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, huge.
They love
futsal is massive. They fill out stadiums.
Why is that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what, but they've have historically had a lot more backing. Whereas Football Federation Australia here, they haven't had a lot of backing. And I actually broke the story when the FFA cut the funding for the
Oh, no.
futsal Roos, so the Australian futsal team.
Yeah.
I remember I got the news. I think it was like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. And this is the thing with being a journalist, like you're working around the clock pretty much. So when if a source gives you news, mate, you better have that laptop ready and start typing. So I got, and this is before ChatGPT, so you can't, So I got the news,
No
and I was like, whoa, and I actually considered, I was like, maybe I'll just write this up in the morning because who's gonna be awake now and this and that. I broke it, ended up writing it. Broke it on my little crappy sports blog, WordPress thing. And I just went to sleep. I went to sleep. The next morning, it had reached like 100,000 people.
Jesus.
Copied by like ABC, Channel 7, and they're all using like my blog as their source.
Yeah.
I was on top of the world. I woke up a superstar that day.
Yeah, putting the name out there.
Yeah. I still remember the name of the blog. It's called Sports on the Global. Doesn't even make sense. Anyway, yeah. And everyone was just like, via Sports on the Global. And it was just so funny. I was like, the internet age, man. Like Channel 7 and SBS, the World Game, are quoting Sports on the Global.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy.
Imagine if I just made it up. Because I was using I'd quoted certain, because I had sources in the futsal world. I was close to the players. I still am like
you still play it. You play it. Yeah?
I play. I play. Yeah.
You're a good player.
I'm all right.
You post the good videos at least. That's what I see.
I'm very good at clipping it up. Editing it, making myself look good. The boys I play with, as soon as I score a decent enough goal, they go, that's gone on Instagram.
What you know is what you see.
Yeah, they go, that's gone on Instagram, isn't it? I'm like, yeah, it probably is actually.
Yeah, look, man, big baller. They don't know. It's like if you wanna, it's like lying on your CV.
If you got it, flaunt it.
You what?
If you got it, flaunt it.
Oh yeah, 100%,
that's what they say.
100%.
And I don't got it, but I flaunt it.
Yeah, you flaunt what you got.
Yeah, I flaunt what I got. Exactly. But yeah, man.
Does it require more fitness to play futsal?
Yeah, it's short bursts. You got to run in short bursts.
Is it more like Tabata rounds for fitness?
The what rounds?
Tabata. Have you seen Tabata, the big resistance? So Tabata works in a way where you divide your training into 10 segments of extreme energy, extreme bursting, extreme exercise, and then a short break. And so say if you jump on the treadmill, you do 10 rounds of Tabata.
Yes.
You go for 40 seconds and then 20 rest.
Yes.
And then you alternate.
Yeah.
Is it similar to
interval
that?
running.
Interval, basically.
Yeah. But all sport, to be honest, to train for all kind of, even AFL players, because I worked at the Bachelor Wally Foundation at Richmond Football Club for 3 years after a couple of years after I left the futsal scene, just to fast forward a little bit. And they train like that. So they train in interval running a lot. So they do, they do 60 on, 30 off.
Jesus.
And when I say 60 on, it's on. It's like a sprint.
Yeah, 60 seconds, yeah?
60 seconds on, yeah.
100%?
Pretty close to it, maybe 80. Yeah. And the funny thing is when we were in Dubai, so the foundation, they take the boys to Dubai every year. And I was I was there, I was filming him. And because I'm essentially working on my own, right? I decide when I've got enough footage, you know? So I'm like, yeah, that's enough for today, So I put the camera down, got my runners on, and Dubai is obviously pretty warm.
Yeah.
So I got my shorts underneath, and I just,
Dubai.
I just take my pants off and I got my shorts under. And I joined them for the run. And there was one lap where I actually gave it everything. Mind you, you do about 10,
10 laps.
Yeah. And this was about maybe the 5th or 6th lap. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a go here.
It doesn't look too bad.
Yeah. So I finished probably top 3 just for that one split. And then one of the coaches goes, boys, if Bilal's finishing ahead of you, you're in trouble. So I'm like, to be honest, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
He's not. These are elite athletes.
Yeah, true.
Mind you, they're about 17, 18 years old, like the academy. You know, they're coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the next one I finished last. Yeah, nah, no doubt about it. Yeah, they all stepped on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably because you came in
Yeah,
fresh.
yeah, because I came in fresh
Yeah.
and they weren't happy. Yeah, so but no, the point is, yeah, that's how you have to train for sports.
But do you think you finished third because you were fresh or because you had that adrenaline pump?
No, I finished third because I tried harder than them. Because they were just kind of like you're 4 or 5 laps into a 10 lap thing, and they were just like they just kind of stopped trying.
The dying, yeah.
Yeah, they were just like bored, you know.
So it's kind of a mentality thing, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you could put yourself in a mentality where you do have to finish first, like it's the first and only lap, you probably come on top in each and every single one.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't know your limits. If
So
you
like
put
the
your
Lewis
mind in
Hamilton mentality. Like
Sorry?
Lewis Hamilton mentality.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
even when he's finished, even when he's won the race,
Yeah.
when he's won the championship, sorry, and he's got like 2-3 races to go. Do you think he's kicking up at the back of the queue?
No, he's
No
back.
way. He's still trying to win the race.
I don't like Lewis. Sorry, Lewis.
Nah, you don't?
No.
Nah, it's a great racer.
Look, man, I don't like Mercedes.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't feel that strongly about F1, but
No.
yeah, I recognize greatness when I see it though.
I like Oscar,
Yeah.
our boy, because he's
Yeah.
Australian.
Yeah.
You know, big up Oscar.
Yeah.
You know, come to
But
Ferrari,
yeah.
please.
Now when you in sport when you see greatness,
Yeah,
Just
you
gotta
have to recognize it.
you have to
You
recognize
have to.
it.
I think
Like I've always preferred Ronaldo over Messi, but I know who's the better player.
Ronaldo.
No.
You can't say no. You just can't.
Nah.
After the World Cup, I'm not taking no for debate. Before the World Cup, it used to be, yeah, they're the same. They're on the same level. But after the World Cup, I became the biggest Messi hater.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Why?
I
Because
didn't want Argentina to win.
they scripted it.
Yeah, part of that. And part of it is because it's like you're watching a TV show, right? And it's like,
Yeah, pretty predictable ending.
yeah, not predictable. It's like watching Batman, and you know, it's Batman and the Joker going on for ages, and then just at one point, Batman starts to win.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's that's it, done for.
It would have
you
been good if they drew the World Cup final,
Exactly, yeah.
Portugal and Argentina,
know? No,
and they just
yeah.
shake hands, and then everyone
Everyone goes home.
yeah,
I
that'd
don't
be
know
good.
about that.
And
I would have
then-
been happy with Portugal winning.
Yeah,
I'm a big antagonist guy.
yeah,
Yeah, I hate a protagonist.
yeah. Nah, well, is Messi the protagonist?
Kind of.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
He
Yeah,
is.
a bit
Like
more
everyone,
likable.
everyone cheering him
A
up.
bit
You know?
more likable.
The
Yeah.
autism as well.
Yeah. Oh, wow. He's never been the autism allegations.
No way.
Yeah.
Last week I saw a video of some guy just zooming on his face.
I saw
and
that, and he was just like
He's not making it out, brother. He's not. But I think he's just like that. Right?
Yeah.
I don't think
he has
he's not
autism.
autistic.
Nah. He's introverted.
He
See
is.
that
Big
there,
time.
right there. That's an introvert.
He's so shy.
That's an introvert who's just been thrust into the public sphere. Like this guy does not want it at all.
No.
Yeah, he just wants to be left alone.
Yeah.
Like Cristiano Ronaldo,
he loves it.
Loves it.
He loves
thrives.
it. Yeah. He's got the
He's a
charisma for
narcissist
it.
as well, but
Yeah, I know, but he's got the charisma for it.
yeah.
Let's be real. Like Cristiano, when he goes out and he's balling and he's in his prime back in the day when he's at Man United, he used to be a big narcissist. He used to be.
He's still a narcissist.
He is
Yeah.
still, but right now he's more wise with it. When he was a youngin back in the United days, he used to tell people he dribbled them and he dribbled them. You know.
But now the definition of a narcissist is someone who thinks every problem is about them or every problem, you know. So Manchester United are losing a game and he gets taken off and they win the game and he still sees it as a disrespectful thing,
Yeah,
as a loss
Yeah.
that he's been taken off. You know, how dare this happen to me? But what about your team? Your team's won the game.
But he can win games. That's why.
No, but not anymore. Like,
You think?
Towards the end there, he was United. It was done.
Like in his last
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, in his last season.
Oh no, I
yeah.
was talking about his prime.
No, obviously in his
young.
prime. Yeah.
Have you seen that video of Ferdinand telling him not to shoot and he just takes a shot from like
Was
60
that against
yards
Porto?
out? Yeah, I think so.
Porto, yeah, 42 yards out. Yeah.
Yeah, when he was like back in United,
Yeah.
Ferdinand just literally told him, "Don't shoot." He looks
Yeah,
down, takes a
2007.
shot.
Yeah, I remember. I was watching that game live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a mad shot.
No.
Imagine telling Ronaldo not to shoot.
Yeah.
He puts down his head, takes a shot.
But that was very far out though.
That was very far out.
It's ridiculous.
Like I would have told him not to shoot.
Yeah, I
either.
would have said the same thing. Yeah.
Really, don't shoot.
Just yesterday at training, I was told someone don't shoot, and they shot and they scored. And I
They
was
scored it.
I was wrapped.
They shush you.
No,
Even
they
the
didn't.
Good old FIFA 14
No, they
celebration.
didn't. No, they didn't. No, they
That's-
forgot that I said it.
Wasted
They
opportunity.
forgot that I said it. Because then you have to flip straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't shoot. Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, like that. Gotta be very
Bro,
quick with it.
I was celebrating against my own teammates. I would leave the opposition, just go around my own teammates shushing everyone.
Oh man.
Well, that's mad. I never got the opportunity to score.
Hmm.
You remember? Because for people that don't know, me and Bilal used to play on the same football team,
Yeah, we
Craigman
used to.
City. We had like a couple of games together, not that much, because he used to be better than me. And he played on a higher level. I played on the lower level. But we never got the chance to actually, make a goal together.
Celebrate a goal
together. Maybe next year. Are you playing right now, yeah?
Yeah, I'm playing. I'm at a
Roxy?
different club. Yeah, no, Tullamarine.
Tullamarine.
Yeah.
How is that going?
Yeah, it's all right. It's very enjoyable. A lot of my friends play there. At this point, I'm just playing for enjoyment, man.
What level?
Yeah. State 5.
Nice.
State 5.
Reserves or
Both. I'm playing both at the moment.
seniors?
Yeah, reserves and seniors.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What position are you playing around? Still playmaker?
Defensive midfield.
Defensive. We
yeah.
switched.
Yeah.
We got that new N'Golo Kante role.
Yeah, because I realized I preferred. Oh, this is so boring for viewers, but I preferred playing.
We got all the stratas, brother.
Hey?
We got all the stratas. I had the mayor talking about his favorite football clubs
Really?
like 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, just quickly, yeah, because I preferred playing, facing the goal instead of as a number 10, you're playing with your back to goal. Receiving with your back
You
to
want to
goal.
like look at the goal?
Yeah, like to receive, look up, play passes. Yeah.
So box to box now? Or
Yeah.
just sitting at the back?
I prefer to just sit.
Don't have the fitness for box to box.
No, I definitely do.
You do?
That's the problem. The problem is, the problem, like, I don't want to talk about myself, but because I tend to be one of the fittest players on the team. So when I do want to just play, holding, but then they realize that, it's a bit of a waste of the fitness and someone who's not as fit just ends up playing the holding role because they don't want to run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, I think defensive midfielders have to be one of the fittest players on the team.
Ideally, but at this level, a lot of players who don't want to move a lot just play there because they're good with the ball, like they're good passes.
But that's just lazy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
But at that level, you have lazy players.
Are you
Anyway,
one of them?
Me?
Yeah.
Nah. All I do is run.
Oh.
I cover like 9 Ks a game minimum. Not minimum, like on average.
Do you wear your watch when you play?
I do. Yeah. Don't tell the referees that. Don't tell the refs. I have a double cover, so I wear I wear the wristband and then I wear skins on top.
Yeah. Isn't that what Mo Salah does? Because I've seen him at a couple of the games. He wraps his wrist, but you can clearly see that he's wearing something underneath. It's probably the watch.
They don't need to do that. They have the chest, the bra.
They do, but that's weird because like he's still wearing something underneath. It's not a wristband. Sorry, it's not.
They have the sports bra, but the one that measures all their things.
I know, but
maybe he's measuring his breathing or something.
Maybe he's on Instagram mid game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick. Answer his phone.
Yeah, why not?
You know how Egyptian wives be. You gotta quick with it. Arab wives, you gotta be on
angry
call.
24/7.
You gotta be on call.
I swear to God, Egyptian women, they're always screaming for no reason.
Yeah.
Or a reason. They get riled up easy.
Well, I don't want to talk about other people's women, but
You're back in the gym now.
I've never left. Yeah.
You're putting extra work actually.
Yeah.
You've bulked up. You put on more muscle. I've seen your training.
Yeah. A little bit, yeah.
What do you do? Just bodybuilding or resistance?
No, I do. No, I do just bodybuilding, but I always do light weights because you don't want to get too heavy when you're playing sport. Yeah.
You do
So
less weight, more rep?
Yeah, less weight, more reps. Yeah, supersets and stuff like that.
Is that better for football?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
What about resistance?
I'm starting to incorporate more mobility and stuff like that.
What do you do?
I actually just bought resistance bands. I haven't had any before. So I just bought some.
What's your top 3 exercises? Your favorite exercises?
Well, everyone knows I love a pull up.
I saw that. I was gonna say that.
Oh man, my mates would kill me if I didn't say that. Pull up. Benches. Bench is always nice.
Benches.
Whenever you bench, you always feel like you're in a prison yard and you're
Yeah.
bulking up, getting ready for the next fight. Even though I use dumbbells.
Yeah. No, dumbbells is better.
Yeah.
I don't like barbells.
Yeah.
It's very restricting to use barbells.
Exactly. Yeah. And third, I'd say
squats.
No, I don't do much squats.
No.
I got lower back pain.
Oh. Everyone does. Come on.
Yeah.
I've got that lower back pain excuse.
Yeah.
No, fair enough.
I don't know. Third's probably bicep curls. Just regular bicep curls.
For the pump.
For the pump, yeah.
For the pump.
Yeah, you got to see the pump. You got to wear the singlet.
You got to respect it, yeah.
Yeah.
Singlet.
Yeah.
Oh, going full out.
Yeah,
CJ
yeah.
style.
I used to be no singlet.
Yeah.
But then.
You made the switch.
Yeah.
You joined the other side.
Yeah, I switched to the dark side.
But that's because you're bigger now, no?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Guy like
I can pull it off now.
He can pull it off now. Respect. If I wear the singlet, it looks a little bit embarrassing.
Nah. Sure, you can pull it off, man.
Nah, I'm way too big.
Ah, too big.
Yeah,
In a good way.
kind of like
Yeah.
I've got broad shoulders,
Yeah.
but for singlets you need bigger shoulders.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so my shoulders are not there yet. So I've got the chest for it, I've got the back for it, but it's the shoulders that kind of restrict me.
Okay. You got to do more shoulder days. I'm doing shoulders today.
Huh?
I'm doing shoulders today.
Good job.
Yeah.
You going as well? Shoulders. He
Durham-
goes to Durham as
Durham?
well. Oh,
Yeah?
both boys are Durham.
I'll see you there then.
All right. Maybe I'll come.
Done.
We'll see.
Done.
Oh wait, no. Today's Friday. I got work. I got double shift. I got this and I got my other work.
Hard worker.
You're a hard worker too.
Yeah.
Apart from poetry, you do photography.
Yeah,
Right.
photography. So yeah, I started. When did I start photography? 2016. 2016. So I started only to supplement my my journalism. So like just basically taking photos to go with the match reports. This was at futsal. And then from there, eventually it turned into videography. I actually got my first video job based on my photos. Yeah, so I just convinced someone to hire me to film.
You just gave them photos.
A tournament, yeah, based on photos.
Nice.
And luckily for me, they didn't know that they have nothing to do with each other. So that's what I ended up doing.
What?
Oh yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. So then, yeah, I ended up getting a video job, and then I started a photo and video business, covering sport. Did that for 3 years. 3 years was it? Yeah, 2018 to 2020, 2021. 2020, yeah, lockdown. When was lockdown? 2020?
2020.
Yeah.
2021.
That's when the sports media business stopped. So I ended up having 10 clients, 10 clubs on my books at the peak of that. Then lockdown kind of put an end to that. And I started at Richmond, so I didn't really need to run the business anymore, which I kind of regret, to be honest. They say don't have regrets, but you have to. Lessons.
Yeah, lessons, yeah.
Yeah. Because now I find myself kind of a little bit sick of the 9 to 5 grind a little, and I'm looking to get back into business.
You want to be in control of your own work?
A little bit, yeah. Well, I have my business on the side, so I'm still in control of that.
What's your business?
I do corporate events and stuff, photography.
What's his name?
Envisioned Photography.
Nice.
Yeah, so I do corporate events, functions, the occasional wedding and event.
Is it on social media?
Yeah.
Where can we find it?
I think it's envisioned.photography. Let me check.
With an E?
Envisioned with an E, yeah. Envisioned. Let me check.
It's only because I'm been in the country for 6 years, so I&E kind of the same for me.
Envisioned Photography, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Envisioned.photography.
What
But
do
yeah,
you-
it's not crazy.
No?
Most of my work is on my personal page. So
do you shoot weddings or?
yeah, I just shoot the occasional wedding engagement, mostly for friends and stuff like that. 'Cause I don't really like doing it too much.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I work full time in photos and video production. So like when you do it on the side as well, it's a bit of a drag.
But you
do
enjoy
too
it,
much.
right?
I definitely enjoy photography and videography. Yeah, definitely.
What is the perfect shot for you in a wedding? What is your favorite shot?
That's a good question. Just something candid. Let me have a look at my page.
We're gonna have to pull it out.
Yeah.
Because you've got it.
Yeah, I've got the page here. So
No, I mean the shot.
You've
already
yeah.
taken
So
the
it'd be
perfect shot.
something like this. So like they're kind of just laughing.
Head on head.
Yeah, head on head.
So more emotion.
Yeah.
You like emotion.
Yeah, and then there's something like this as well, where, like it's just in the middle of the party and
In the mosh.
Yeah,
Nice.
And there's his brothers. I got him on his shoulders, so just the whole thing, the whole essence of it is just capturing the moment. Yeah, so when you capture the moment, that's with everything. That's with all art forms, man. Like even with my poetry, I write everything on the spot. So like, for example, the other day, it was literally 1 o'clock in the morning, and I started my poem with "It's 1 o'clock in the morning." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and like, so that's kind of the essence of art, to capture the thing in the moment. And that's what I love about poetry. I know we're talking about photography, but with poetry, it's.
Do you filter it out, or do you just put your raw thoughts and you put it out? That's it.
No, I do. No, to be honest, I don't really filter it out. No.
So it's just whatever you write down, and then that's
like
it.
what you see on my Instagram is what I've written down.
Exactly.
Pretty much, yeah. Like I might like take out a word here or there. But yeah, it's just raw. Like there's like I don't write for commercial. I literally, it's just a raw what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, and it's an outlet for me.
Is there a certain message that you try to give to the people, or is it just more
Not
your
really,
personal?
Not really. It's just what I'm thinking about at the time. And with poetry, this is the thing I love about poetry, right? You can say things, or you can get away with saying things that you wouldn't be able to get away with saying. And by get away with, I mean like people would just scroll past, right? And they wouldn't really pay much notice. You get away with saying things that you wouldn't be able to say if you were just saying it. Yeah. So if you were just speaking.
Yeah.
So for example, like I wrote a poem last week called Attention. Right. And it's all about social media and how social media has shortened our attention span and everyone wants attention. It's a whole fight for attention.
Yeah.
Right. If I just come on, put a video to my face and said, guys, everyone's an attention seeker, you know? Social media is killing our attention span. I'm like, bro, what's this going about? Just scroll past, you know? Yeah. Whereas because you're rhyming the words, attention, or I need attention, what's the best algorithm for audience retention? You know? So all of a sudden people are like, oh, well, it's rhyming, it's entertaining. Oh, wait, there is a message.
Yeah. It's because you're capturing the emotion as well.
Yeah.
You're not just capturing their head. You're not just capturing their attention.
Yeah, so like that's how it is. So like there isn't a particular message. It's literally just what I'm thinking about at the time. Like the other day, like 2 weeks ago, my friend's house actually got robbed. And then I wrote a poem called "Your House Got Robbed Yesterday." Literally, and I
just smack it in their face.
No, and I sent it to him, right?
Yeah.
And he was cool with it. So he was cool with me posting it, right? When I wrote that, I didn't write it because his house got robbed. Well, it was like that was like kind of an inspiration, but it was his house getting robbed made me think, wow, like that's a really bad thing to happen to someone. It's a terrible thing to happen to someone. But what if something worse was to happen, right? And then you start getting perspective and you start thinking, wow, okay, yeah, my house was robbed, things were stolen, no lives were lost, right? You know? And like, so even in the poem, it's like, yeah, your house was robbed yesterday. Thank God you had insurance. But what if your heart had stopped yesterday? You know? So it's like, it's just about adding that perspective.
You're kind of adding the light into the darkness.
Exactly. It's all about perspective. Like if there's one thing I would say about all my poetry is that there's perspective in it. So nothing ends in darkness in my poetry. So even like probably my darkest piece, which is Test Me. And I wrote that when I was going through like something like pretty difficult. And it was like, there's even a line in that where it's like, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to go through, you know? But then right after that, like, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to go through. I'll show you, my Lord, that I can get through it. So there's hope right after the darkness. I don't want to leave anything on the darkness, right? So you always want to show the light at the end of the tunnel.
Is Bilal an optimist?
Oh, I'm definitely an optimist. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I'm like to a fault. Yeah, to a fault. I like to see the best in every situation. Yeah.
Are you just built like that, or did situations shape it?
No, I think it's probably intrinsic. It's probably inbuilt in me. I'd say I've gone through a lot of things, man. Like I was raised, in a low income household. Saw drugs and everything growing up, not in my house or anything, but around me in the neighborhood. I got in trouble in another podcast for saying which neighborhood, so I'm gonna stay clear of that.
You got in trouble with the podcasters, or
no, with the people from the neighborhood. Yeah. Now some people took objection. But that's okay.
We don't talk about red meadows.
No, it wasn't red meadows. No. So
surprise.
Essentially, because of how I was raised, and like I'm actually very grateful, because if I was raised in privilege, I think I wouldn't have the mindset that I have.
What kind of privilege? Like financial?
Yeah, if I was raised in like financial privilege and financial ease, which like because our parents came to this country, well, you weren't born here, but I was born here, right? So my parents came here. I was born like 3 years after my mom came to the country, or 2 years after. And maybe
just for the people listening, where were your parents? Where did they come from?
East Africa. So Eritrea is the country.
Yeah.
No one will know where that is.
Arabs do.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, yeah.
Yeah.
Eritrea.
Yeah. So my background is mixed. So I'm like 3/4 Eritrean, and then the rest of me is mixed Somali and Sudanese. Yeah.
Which side do you like more?
Which side do I like more? Nah, there's no liking. There's no,
No?
like. Nah, I like all of them.
Yeah.
I love my people, man.
Are they different? Big time?
Yeah, a little. Like Sudanese people are more chilled out.
Are they?
Yeah, definitely more chilled. They're known all over the world, like all over the Arab world, and the African world to be chilled out.
Are they?
Yeah. Like I was in Morocco, and like as soon as I tell someone I'm Sudanese, they'd just be like, "Oh well, like I love your people." They're very relaxed. Yeah, so I probably resonate the most with Sudanese people just because of my personality. And there's nothing wrong with being, not as chilled out as I am, because sometimes like I let too many things slide as well. So Somali people are very, they love to laugh, very humorous, hilarious people.
Oh, so does Sudanese.
Yeah. But Somali people are probably funnier, to be honest.
Yeah?
Yeah, Somali people are one of the funniest kinds of people. I love Somali people.
That's true. I have one mate at work. He's
Yeah.
always got a smile on his
But
face.
they won't let as much slide.
No.
Nah, they won't let as much slide.
They
And
call
I
it
like
that
that.
shit, yeah.
And I like that. And I wish I was a bit more like that as well.
Oh, do you let things pass?
Yeah, I let too many things slide. Yeah,
Why?
yeah. I'm just too forgiving. I'm too forgiving. There's a question I asked my friends yesterday. It's part of my personality test. Is do you think the world needs more justice or more mercy? And they were all like, more justice, more justice. Like, there's too much mercy in the world. But I still think the world needs more mercy. And that's just me.
Why?
Yeah. Because like the way you think of it is more justice is great, right? Like they're both great characteristics. Yeah. But so they were saying it in the context of Palestine and Israel, right?
Okay.
If there was more justice, then Palestinians wouldn't have to go through what they're going through. Then I was thinking of it, if the Israelis were more merciful, then they wouldn't have been in that position in the first place, right? So that's why I just think the world needs more mercy.
Doesn't mercy unite people more?
Yeah, I guess
In a
so.
way?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Maybe if they had a little bit more mercy on both sides, there would be more harmony.
Yeah, I'd say so. I wouldn't say both sides, but I wouldn't say both sides.
We don't take sides. I mean, I don't take sides.
Yeah.
I don't take sides, especially on that case. Like, I know that Arabs are more inclined to go with Palestine, but I don't side with either of them. I think that they both do their wrongs, and they both plead their case in a way where okay, I see it from this side, I see it from that side.
No, I disagree.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. A lot of Arabs do. A lot of Arabs fully support Palestine, and I'm not saying that but the thing that happens is terrible.
Yeah, I'm a history buff, so I've gone back to the initial, like how it actually started, and how it started was Palestine allowing Israelis to come in and stay there to share the land.
Yeah.
And what it's turned into is obviously not that. And they're slowly come and taking over more and more land. Look, I don't want to talk too much. I don't talk too much.
In Iraq, we're told it's not just share. Some people actually sold it. That's why.
Some people say they sold it.
Yes.
No, they didn't sell it.
I do not know. That's why I can't just take one side.
No, they didn't sell it. They didn't sell it. No.
That's why we're told.
If you look into go read about the history, and you'll see there's a lot of it's essentially exactly the same as what happened to the Aboriginal people here.
Aboriginal people were. I think they got treated worse. They didn't get the chance to.
Oh, of course, yeah, they got treated very badly, to the point where there's only 1%.
Yeah,
1 or 2% of Aboriginal people left in the country. Yeah,
at least Palestinians are fighting back.
But Aboriginal people got treated, but there were less weapons as well. For them.
Exactly. That's why.
But essentially, it's the same thing of me saying, "Oh, can I come and use your bathroom?"
Yeah,
and then eventually saying, "Get the hell out of your living room."
That's fair, but the thing is, they have actual photographs of land agreements of selling lands. That's why.
Yeah, but you could sell land. Like you could come into my onto my farm, and I could sell you that bit of land. But then if every day you're moving the fence a little bit further back, and that's not
this is where it becomes an issue.
Yeah, that's not the same agreement that we had.
Yeah, that's why. But
yeah,
I think it's like you said, if the worst part of it is people are killing each other. That's the worst part. Like, yeah, there's land getting split, but there's also souls being taken for realistically a human problem, right?
Yeah, but even if you look at the death toll, though, if you look at the death toll,
it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It's too
Yeah.
high. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
we're killing each other over land,
Mm.
right? This is not what we're here for. This is not love. This is not mercy. This is not human. It's inhuman, if anything, you know?
Mm.
A lot of people don't look at it from that perspective. A lot of people get into the mindset that we versus them instead of us. Because at the end of the day, what's the difference? We're both human, right? Bilal, how old are you right now? 20,
25.
25?
Yeah.
What's the hardest decision that Bilal had to make?
It's an interesting question.
In 25 years.
Probably can't talk about the hardest decision.
No,
it's still private. But I'll talk about the second hardest decision.
Oh, you don't have to tell me exactly what it is.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
the
can talk about the
context.
second hardest decision.
Okay.
It probably was. Look, I've had to make a lot of, like, not a lot, but I've had to make a fair share of hard decisions. I'll give you two. One was probably to leave Richmond, because I was working in the sporting
FC?
sphere. Yeah, Richmond AFL club. I was working in sport, which is what I wanted to do. And I moved into education, so I work for a school now, doing like photo and video content. But I had to make the call, for my family, for myself as well professionally. And the second one was probably to leave music behind.
At 17.
At 17, 18, because I was like at the point when I left it behind, I was speaking to producers in America and that kind of thing. And yeah, I just had to make the sacrifice. I had to make it for my faith. And yeah, we're taught if you leave something for the sake of God, then you replace it with something better. And I think what I've had since then is definitely better.
Which one do you look back at the most?
Which decision? The Richmond one was probably too recent, because I only left in January. Oh, yeah. So I don't know what the long-term repercussions are.
Are you happy about it?
Am I happy about it?
Yeah.
I'm content.
Okay.
I'm content, yeah.
Do you think with time you'll probably be happy about it?
It was the right call to make at the time. I'd spent 3 years there. I achieved everything I wanted to achieve. Helped grow the foundation's, social media. I think it was on maybe like 300, 400 followers on Instagram when I got there, and it was close to 4,000, I think, when I left, or 3.5 or something like that. So I thought I did as much as I could. And even the calendar starts getting a bit repetitive and everything like that. But I loved it there, man. I love the people there. I still keep in contact with them. So it's probably too soon to say, reflecting on that decision. But the music one, yeah, I've reflected on it. And man, I've met so many amazing people. I've been involved in the Muslim community. I've learned more about myself, about my faith. I've met, people that have changed my life. And all of that wouldn't have been possible if I had, pursued a career in music. And who knows how far away from my faith I'd be now, man. I was 18, I'm 25 now. I could have fallen out with, my family. I could have fallen out with all the people who I call friends and brothers now. And a lot of people that back in the day, were telling me to kind of, give it up. And I thought were haters and this and that. They're like my closest friends now, because they were encouraging me for a good reason. Because they knew that life didn't have anything good behind it.
But you had to find out for yourself.
Yeah, obviously. That's how it always is. Especially at that age, 17, 18.
You can only advise someone so much
exactly.
until it becomes intrusive.
Yeah.
And you're trying to be controlling.
When you're 18, like my sister's 18 now, and you can't tell her anything. Like you can speak to her and she'll listen. Yeah. But you can only advise so much, and then they have to kind of make the call themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like that. And that's why I'm very understanding with how people who are 17, 18 are now. Yeah. Even students at the school, like I see them. And sometimes you think like, oh, if like this guy's a bit, a bit silly, or goofy. Why is he acting like this? But then you think, wow, 17, 18, I was probably worse.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, worse. Exactly. Yeah, same or worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that kind of sets you up for fatherhood, you know?
Yeah. As
a father, these kind of experiences,
reflective on that kind of thing.
They shape you, and then when you become a father, you realize why your father was doing the things that they used to do at your age.
Yeah.
When you were young, why they used to go, you can't do this, you can't do that. You know,
Yeah.
they're kind of acting out of experience.
Yeah.
But you can't just let them not have it. You gotta let them do the silly stuff so they can learn.
Yeah, exactly.
Bilal, you get a question. I want 2 truths, 1 lie to the camera. Give it.
I have to give it 2 truths.
You have to give 2 truths, 1 lie. If I guess right, you get to ask me the same thing.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, but I've just told you about my whole life.
Listen, bro. yeah. People are big mysteries, you know. We always hide things that we don't want people to know. We're always layered, you know.
Okay, you're gonna cut out the silence now while I'm thinking?
Not really.
Okay.
I'll let people enjoy it.
2 truths and a lie.
It's not that hard to lie. It's kind of hard to come up with the truths.
Okay.
Or decide which truths.
It's not that hard to lie, did you say?
No.
I find it hard to lie.
Is it? To make up something?
Yeah.
How?
I don't lie generally.
Hard to lie or hard to maintain a lie?
I'd say hard to maintain a lie, but I generally, because I used to lie a lot when I was a kid, because you're in trouble, you just lie, you know. Yeah. So then, my dad basically told me that Muslims don't lie, you know, Muslims don't lie, and he said it so many times. Whereas so now I keep it as a principle.
It's embedded in your head.
Yeah, it's always But anyway, it's enough virtue signaling. What are 2 truths and a lie? Okay. I scored only 1 goal in 5 years as a junior player. I had a song with Kid Ink, if you even remember who that is, from back in the day. And I used to play piano.
Yeah, you definitely used to play piano. No way.
No. Right. I did learn virtual piano at one point on the
one on the mobile app?
On the laptop.
On the laptop?
Yeah, lockdown was rough, man. Yeah.
What did you used to play? Mozart, Dr. Dre.
Beethoven.
But
I'm not joking.
Which one? Moonlight Sonata. That's Moonlight Sonata.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
For Release, isn't it called For Release?
Huh?
Isn't that one called For Release?
For Release.
Yeah.
What, the piece name?
Yeah.
No, it's called Moonlight Sonata.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
Why would he call it For Release?
I swear it was called that. Anyways, go and do yours.
Well, that was a banger when it dropped.
Yeah. When it dropped?
Yeah.
When did it drop? In the 1920s?
What? Beethoven?
Yeah.
1920s.
How old is Beethoven? Is he alive now?
What?
Is he alive now?
No.
What?
It's Beethoven.
Yeah.
Like the actual Beethoven. I don't know if there's a new guy named Beethoven.
Yeah, when was he?
He was like ancient.
That's what I'm saying.
1700s.
Is it 1700s?
1600s.
Really?
Probably older.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was deaf.
What was he?
Yeah.
Wow.
He couldn't listen to his own music.
Wow.
Yeah. Was that him or Mozart?
I've got to get to Friday prayer. Anyway,
no.
let's you do yours. You do yours.
Jesus, you put me on the spot.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, fine. I have 2 sisters. Jesus. Now you're gonna know.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What would you say?
Me?
Yeah, about me.
Oh.
Okay, I got it. I'm on time for every single appointment I have, or I try to be. So I got good time management. I have 2 sisters, and
Yeah, I'll stop you right there. The time management one is a lie. Because we were both late for this thing.
No, listen, I was by 15 minutes.
Yeah, I was half an hour.
You were terrible, bro.
I was half an hour.
Like, that beats the hell out of mine.
My time management is horrible.
I
It's
know.
my biggest weakness.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Because like with this guy, sometimes I'll ask him to go out. Yeah. And I'd message him like, be ready at 9. I'll come pick you up. I'm at his door at 10:15.
Wow. Okay, I'm not that bad. But no, mine's bad. Like
yesterday, he told me I'm gonna pick you up at like 8:50.
Yeah.
He can pick me up at 9:15.
wow.
Yeah. Look, man. It happens.
Yeah, no,
I'll be in the shower.
I can't talk. Now mine's bad, man. Like I actually don't understand time. I feel like I don't understand time.
You probably should dial your clock a little bit backwards.
Yeah, maybe.
I would do that.
You can't do that with all these devices, man.
That's why I don't use devices. Like with time, even with a clock, I've got a clock in my room and it's the good old fashioned one. The one that goes just in the morning. And so I don't want to snooze, you know, and just wake up and I close it because snoozing is a big one for me.
Yeah.
I hate snoozing. I just wake up and I imagine David Goggins standing next to me. Wake up. Got 7 runs today.
Good old Goggins. Good old Goggins.
Honestly, bro. But
all right, man.
you want to go to mosque?
Yeah.
We'll wrap it up right now. So just before you go, I'll ask you one last question. Bilal, if you had one message you would deliver to your future kids that are watching and listening to this right now, what would it be?
Oh, God.
Right there, they're watching.
I reckon I'll be the type of corny dad that they wouldn't want anything to do with my content.
Oh, listen, man, they're gonna be watching anyway.
Yeah.
If they love you, or they would.
Let's see. It's gonna be something corny, isn't it?
It's dad stuff.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be with love, you know. It's gonna be
Yeah.
authentic. It's gonna be real.
I'd say in this world where people don't really stand for much, don't just fall for anything easily. Know your values. Stay true to them. And understand yourself. Regardless of however much the world is changing in terms of accepting everything, know what you accept, know what you find acceptable, understand it, and stay true to that.
That's beautiful, man. All right.
Thanks, man.
Where can we find you?
Instagram, mostly find poetry and the occasional outfit photo. By Bilal Ali. So BYBILALI. And Twitter at @thatjournobilal. And I'm not really active anywhere else, really.
All right, man. Pleasure talking to you, brother.
Thanks, man.
See you soon.
Wait.
Oh, wait.
I'm starting a spoken word poetry TikTok.
Oh, you should have
Yeah.
led with that, bro.
Yeah, my little sister runs it, so I
Yeah.
actually don't know the name properly. But maybe you can put it in the bio or something.
Sure.
I think it's called softly.spoken. Might be that. It's called softly spoken, but
Is it on TikTok?
it might be softly spoken poetry. Might be softly
On
spoken
TikTok?
poetry on TikTok.
Was that
Look up softly spoken
shorts
poetry.
and whatnot?
Yeah, shorts. Yeah,
Okay. But
yeah.
how long? 30 seconds, 20 seconds?
Maybe like 30 seconds to a minute or something
Okay.
like that. I don't really know how TikTok works. I don't have the app.
20 seconds.
Really?
You wanna it's very toxic. Like
Yeah,
you
I
wanna
don't have the
catch,
app, so I have no idea. But yeah.
retention
Anyway.
rate is very important. Anyways, man, pleasure talking to you.
Thanks,
Thank you
man.
guys for listening. This was
Appreciate
Bilal, and we're out.